Ebolore ke tlo emisa MJ Mojalefa Motalane a tlo bua on behalf of Sam Spinka Motalane family. Kopa korase heke emisa MJ. Yawa, 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 yawa lembe.
Dumelang bagolo, ba lelapa, metswalle, mentors, I would sponsor, sorry, Khosi sponsor, Maubane. Thank you for everybody who has gathered here today. I'm sorry, I was telling Tuli Manzini that I've not spoken on a podium in a very long time. I used to speak with Comrade SG, Comrade David, Navari, when we were still young. Today is extra difficult because of this great man who touched so many lives. On behalf of my mother's siblings and our entire family, I thank you all for your presence, for your prayers, and the love you have shown us. To stand before you as my father's eldest son, and now have to accept the mantle that he wore with such immense strength, is the most daunting and humbling responsibility of my life. When my father decided to call me Abuti, although this was not my official ID name, I believe that he was preparing me for such an audacious task. I and our family ask your prayers and your support during this difficult time. We are not here just to mourn, but to also honor a builder of businesses, a builder of communities, a builder of faith, and the unshakable builder of this family. Our father, Sam Spinka Motalane, born in Belabela in 1942, began his story of resilience. After losing his father, he had to learn and rely on extended families, staying in Alexander Township, Deep Kloof in Soweto, as a young boy, because his father had died and his mother had to go, our grandmother, find work in the mines. As a teenager, he made the choice to return to Belabela to take care of the Motalane family home. That act as a boy, choosing to become the guardian of his heritage, set the pattern for his entire life. He was always the one who came home to carry the weight. He began as a driver, but his excellence quickly shone through. He drove buses connecting communities from Mabopane all the way to Parktown in Johannesburg. But in the quiet of those journeys, a greater vision was forming. Driven by an entrepreneurial spirit and a sacred desire to restore his father's dreams, he stepped out in faith. He first entered the taxi industry, the lifeblood of our townships in South Africa. But our father decided that he had to pursue a different vision, and not only just as a businessman. With courage, he built various forms of businesses. From, you name it, he used to sell clothing. When Soshanguve started, a lot of people actually think, places like Soshanguve have been there forever. But I was myself shocked when, they would tell us stories that in the 70s, when there was nothing between Soshanguve and Mabopane, they would sell curtains, bedding, anything you could think of, they would sell. With the courage he had, he went on to build Mudikwe supermarket in the early 1980s, which in our community was a landmark for black enterprise. He understood the certain political landscape at the time, and with the guidance of some of his mentors, giants like Dr. Sam Mutswenyane, he decided to diversify further. He started by joining NAFCOC and became a dedicated member of NAFCOC, fighting not just for his own success, but for the economic transformation of South Africans in general. He went on to launch Magic Build Hardware, the first black-owned hardware store in the Mabopane area, and probably Pretoria North. He then later decided that as part of his vision and plans to retire, he will find other forms of businesses, including what he always called commercial properties. And he would always say to us, if you have a commercial property, never sell this commercial property. You can sell houses, you can stay anywhere, you can move anytime. But a commercial property you must never sell, because that is your livelihood and your livelihood for life. And I think that lesson has still stuck with us till today. Yet for all his towering success, what defined Sam Motalane was not to build empires, but a sustainable family livelihood and sustainable employment for his community. He was, I'm sure, already, as some speakers have said, who know him quite well, know him as a profoundly generous man. Bro Paul was saying earlier, and I remember as kids when they used to love going to boxing matches, and Bro Paul was saying that, I really grew up having a good time. They would drive to Sun City to go watch boxing matches. This was, I would believe, during also a time when it was very difficult in the country. But they still found some recreational solace during that time. He was a community builder, I would say, in the flesh and blood, founding also a soccer team called Atlanta Kids Football Club, which nurtured local young boys through activities. He also founded a brass band, Dipala. As you know, our family has a long history with the St. Agnes Church, St. Agnes Christian Church, and therefore this was very close to his heart. He believed fiercely in the education of young people, and I must say he was particularly proud of Bra Paul, especially when he was in varsity and after he was in varsity. But this was ingrained in him, and I think today, some of the speakers here, if he were to look, he would be very happy, because many of them grew up in his eyes. And I think he would be very excited, to see how his nephews and his nieces have turned out, including his children. He understood a truth that he lived every single day, a truth that became his personal anthem. And I think this truth is best described probably through somebody I regard probably as the greatest songwriter. I know there's Quincy Jones and other people and so on. But Labi Sefri wrote in 1987 through a very powerful song, "The higher you build your barriers, the taller I become. The further you take my rights away, the faster I will run. You can deny me, you can decide to turn your face away. No matter what, I will be there. Something inside so strong, I know that I can make it. Though you are doing me wrong, so wrong. You thought that my pride was gone. Oh no, there's something inside so strong." To us, his family, he was our fortress. He was our pillar of strength. He was our subtle power and our loudest cheerleader. My father was probably the biggest cheerleader for everybody that I've ever known in my life. Literally, if you needed help and he thought that you had a worthy cause to pursue, he did. He was nominated on SGBs when he didn't even have children in those schools, because his community considered him such a stable force. He taught us that true leadership is service, that wealth is an instrument for sharing, that the greatest legacy is not what you have in your account, but what you have built in the hearts of people. Papa, you have run your race. You fought the good fight. You kept the faith. You restored your father's dreams and then built castles upon them. You raised a family in your strength and love. You have passed a torch to us now, and the weight of it feels so heavy. We carry it with lessons you etched in our souls: to work hard, to give generously, to lead with humility, and to always protect the family. We will miss your wisdom, your laughter, like how you laughed once when, as a 13-year-old, I once told you to tell somebody you considered to use a lack of a better word, a nuisance, Mr. George Sambonas, who was the founder of the Chicken Licken franchise. And when he told me about this, I then told him, "No, Papa, tell him to go, excuse my language, piss off." And you actually did it without even knowing what it meant. And you couldn't wait to tell me this, to tell me his reaction, and you laughed about it. But we do not say goodbye, Papa. We say thank you. Thank you for the life you lived. Thank you for the name, the Motalane name that you honored so proudly. Thank you for all the family you have built and something inside so strong that you planted in each of us. Rest now, Papa. Your work here is complete and it was magnificent. We love you. We honor you. Thank you. Robala ka khotso re wa rona. Mongwato, Motalane, ke mo phuthing e le tota. Ke a leboga.